It's not meant for us to rely upon our own understanding. We can have understanding, but we should not rely upon it. That, however, does not mean that the understanding we have is completely useless. Look, if you're driving a car, you have understanding how to drive a car. That's why you have a driver's license. So you can practice that understanding while driving a car, and I expect you to do it. When someone looks angry and pissed off, you have your natural understanding sense that this individual is a bit risky to be around. So you can use that understanding to remove yourself from such an individual. So you have understanding, okay? But a lot of people have a lack of understanding. They lack understanding that they need. Look, that you don't know how to fly an airplane. You can be ignorant of that. It's not something you need in daily life unless you are a pilot. So there are things you are ignorant of, and it doesn't matter if you're ignorant of those things because they don't matter in your spiritual walk. But there are practical stuff about the spiritual realm and how it relates to the natural that you need to know that many don't know. They rely on assumptions of the world, and those assumptions are factual. And those assumptions may be correct, but those assumptions, they are hiding the lack of understanding that you have, the understanding you should have ain't there. That's why those assumptions, those practical assumptions are there. And because those assumptions work in the world, you think that you are wise, but you're not. You are intelligent. You are smart, but you're not wise. Look, what I'm trying to say is that you need to learn to see things coming. Look, if you see a child carrying a bottle of milk, and the bottle of milk is a bit heavy, then you know that soon the milk may fall on the ground and it will milk all over the floor. You can see that coming. That's very easy. If you look outside and you see there's a lot of gray clouds and they're heavy, then you know that soon it's going to rain, and you know that the streets are going to be filled with rainwater. So you can see that coming. Those are easy stuff. But hold on a minute. If we can see the weather coming, we can see a small child falling with a can of milk, then, I don't know how to say this. I don't want to sound rude, but a lot of people are in a sleep. They're kind of blind, in a sense that they don't see things coming, unless it's obvious like it's about to rain, unless someone walks to them with a gun in their hands and know, oh, it's dangerous. But a lot of people, they don't see things coming. They don't. They are operating in a routine, and the only thing they're interested in is maintaining that routine and fighting against any disruption of that routine. They are under an hypnosis. Let me say it as it is. They are under an hypnosis, the hypnosis of avoidance. They're avoiding discomfort at all costs. That's why they rely upon the routine so much. And you know what? When you are operating in such a mindset, which is the mindset of the world, this is how the people in the world by default operate, then you won't see things coming. Things will hit you by surprise. There are some worldly people that can see things coming, and often many experiences of being victimized or being in danger today that they've learned to look ahead. But even then, they often fall back to the pattern of avoidance, which is just the default state of how worldly people operate. Now, as a believer who is in Christ, you ought to learn to see things coming. You will not, let me say, you're not a clairvoyant, you're not a fortune teller, and the Most High will not give you a report of every detail of every hour of future events. No, that's not going to happen. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the following. Let's say that you are in a neighborhood, and let's say that you have some new neighbors, okay? And everyone is welcoming the new neighbors and all, but you are spiritual. You are operating supernatural. You look at the husband and wife, and you sense that something ain't right with those people. And you also notice that the husband is a bit violent towards the children. What are you going to do? You're going into your house, into your living room, and you're going to pray on behalf of those children. and you're going to pray against the demonic strongholds that the man is believing in, that tells him he has the right to hate his own children. You're doing that. Then people tell me Rashid shouldn't interfere with people's lives. Hold on a minute. Those people live in the community. They're new there. Whatever they do, they will affect the whole community. And violence against children, well, that is really traumatizing kids and making children vulnerable for demons. Because demons can easily attach themselves to people that are traumatized. So that father, without him being aware of it, he may be thinking he's doing the right thing by disciplining his kids, but it's really making them demon-proof, making them ready to be, I would say it, to be captured by the paranormal. So so you can see that coming. You can see a lot of wrong stuff coming from that man's attitude. And also the compliance of the wife contributes to it also. So you see all of that coming. What are you going to do? You're going in spiritual offense against the situation, right? And if you do this, those children will grow up. And later, I'm not saying this will happen, I'm not prophesying here, but sooner or later, those children are going to notice that you had an impact on their family life. They're not aware you've been praying against the evil that was going on, but those children, once they're older, and let's say that they're not believers, but they want to find out things about their lives, if they go to a fortune teller, the fortune teller will tell them, when you were just a kid, your father used to be a bit violent and your mother tolerated it. That was not good on your behalf. But there was a neighbor in the neighborhood that prayed against your father's wickedness. And because of that, your father didn't lay his hands on you while you were growing up, since you were 6 years old. And it's because of that you could have healed in your teenage years of the contentious marriage of your parents. Now, you saw something coming, so you operated in the spirit against it. Those other people in the neighborhood, they are so-called minding their own business. They're not even bothered by those new neighbors. As long as they obey the law and they don't cause any hindrance to their daily routine, they're fine. They don't care what happens. If the guy hates his kids, well, he needs to discipline them. He knows what he's doing as the parent. As long as children become respectful, it's all right. That's the naive, stupid way of thinking worldly people have. Now, you're not. You are born again. You're renewed in your mind. Because you are renewed in your mind, you can see things coming. That's why you operate in the spirit. Unfortunately, there are believers that are not delivered from that worldly way of thinking. And they're operating just like people of the world, because of that they can't see things coming. And let's say that there was a believer there that was not thinking like you, who didn't see things coming. When that child is 8 years old, one day he knows that the child is very sad and very frustrated, and he also knows that the child has some bruise on his head. But he thinks, well, it's their private life, shouldn't you get involved, it's their privacy. He goes along with the worldly way of thinking. When that kid is 23 years old, he is a gangster, he's running a drug business, and he has a gun, and he with his youth gang are robbing stores and causing harm to people. What has happened? The child has been traumatized. That way the child could not have processed what was done unto him, so the child had to repress all that pain, and while the child was growing up, all that pain manifested and demons were fed by it, and the child now was drawn into the criminal world. And now in the criminal world, he has grown, he has become violent, he has a gun, and now there is a gang, a drug gang terrorizing the neighborhood. Now people are asking, how could this happen? Now people are asking the police to fix it. They want the guy to be locked up, they want more police on the street and all of that. But hold on a minute. Years back, when that kid now became that gangster in the streets, when he was just a kid, he was not a reprobate yet. When that child needed help, people didn't notice anything, people didn't care, they didn't want to know anything. The community didn't want their private lives to be disturbed. So they tolerated it to happen. And now that it has become so worse, now nobody wants to admit their involvement, that they've permitted and willed things to happen. But you as a believer, you ought to be delivered and to walk by faith, so that you can see things coming, so that you will operate in the supernatural, not only against stuff, but also to do times like this. Walking by faith isn't just about preventing harm, preventing misfortune. It's also about seeing opportunities. It can be that you are seeing that in Spain there's a lot of unemployment, and indeed you went there on holiday, there's a lot of unemployment, but at the same time you see that a lot of office buildings are empty, and the real estate are desperate to rent offices for new businesses. Now, because you walk by faith, you are in prayer, in supernatural, you can see possibilities. You see a lot of possibilities in Spain. So what do? You take a $200 if you're in America, and you begin to invest in some corporation of Spain, and you speak upon that share you have bought. You decree supernaturally that it will grow. And what happens? Within 1 or 2 years, you end up owning your own business in Spain. And because you're operating supernatural, that business is working. You did not go to the Illuminati, you didn't go to some secret society to get some mystic knowledge or be successful. You walk by faith. You didn't need a fortune teller or any of that. You didn't even know visual events, you just walk by faith. So that's why you learn to see things coming. You learn this by operating in faith in the supernatural. You will not be a fortune teller that will know things precisely and all of that, no. But you will see things coming, and this will be life-saving, not only unto you but also to your environment. That being said, be at peace.